Next GSL story shows how celebrity pays. By way of background, tennis in the 1930s and 40s was a glamorous sport. Hollywood stars, they were into it in a big way. So tennis stars at that time enjoyed a very high status.
You know what? It's kind of like the NBA today, right? You get Spike Lee, you get Drake, those guys sitting courtside, they're super hoops fans, and it's always been cool to be an NBA fan, man, especially in like New York and LA.
Oh yeah, and it was cool to be a tennis fan back in the day. And one of the great players of that era, Don Budge, had an amazing experience. He was in Paris playing in the French Open in 1938 against a player named Roderick Menzel. In the stands sat Pablo Casals, the world's greatest cellist, who enjoyed Budge's performance tremendously. Budge tells the story.
One of the highlights of winning the French championships was the fact that who became later a very good friend was Pablo Casals, the world's greatest cellist. When I won it, he said, "Don, you've given me so much pleasure that I would like to have you come over to my apartment tonight, have dinner, and I would like to play for you." So we went upstairs through a little circular staircase up into his studio with a slanting glass roof that overlooked the Eiffel Tower. And about 10 people sat on the floor on cushions, and Pablo had a spotlight on him. He brought a pianist in for accompaniment. And he said, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is a private concert for Donald Budge, who's given me so much pleasure in the French championships by winning it today. This concert is for him and for him alone, and you are also invited to listen." So that was the climax of really a great experience.
I was going to say, that's one of the greatest tributes to any athlete I've ever heard of.
Wow, that's like Novak Djokovic being invited to a private listening session at Adele's house.
Or like you and I be invited over to Farzi's house after the show to watch him comb through his sports research books.
So first of all, that's a great analogy there, Murph, because we all know the interesting man that Farzi is. I call him the Pablo Casals of sports research.